What's up guys, Alpha Stoutland here. So obviously I've been super hyped about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and for good reason, because the game is going to be amazing, plain and simple. We've got so many new characters, so many stages, there's just so much stuff to love about this game. And even with the heartbreak of, Shovel Knight being deconfirmed, there's still a lot of possibility for some really cool characters to be added to the roster. And there is one in particular that I'll be talking about today, and that is none other than the belly dancing half-genie hero of Scuttletown herself, Shantae. Now I'm gonna be completely honest, when the Smash ballot was around, Shantae was nowhere in my radar for a likely character. I remember seeing her and being like, Shantae? Who the heck is that? I'd never heard of her until the Smash ballot, and really underestimated her fan base and really underestimated her as a character. And me being, a selfish Smash fan, obviously a character that you don't like is not going to get Smash Bros, because if you don't like them, they'll never get in. But regardless of what I used to think about her now, after researching her and after, Shovel Knight getting deconfirmed, Shantae is just one of those characters I have just jumped on the bandwagon for. Like, she has so much potential going for her. There are cons, obviously, as with every character, but she has so much going for her. And there's a reason that people want her in this game, and that is what I'm going to be talking about today. Now, unlike Shovel Knight, I will be presenting pros and cons, and I'll also be presenting evidence that pretty much confirms Shantae is in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Please note that I will be addressing my opinion at some parts, and it won't just be, this reason, this reason, this reason, because bullet points. It'll also be my opinion wrapped into it. So, again, my video, my viewpoint on Smash Bros. So, that's kind of expected. Now, with all that said, it's time to see why Shantae belongs in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Let's do this. Now let's start with the cons, and the very first thing people bring up when talking about Shantae not being in Smash Ultimate is that she is an indie character. We've never had an indie character in Smash Bros. Before, so why start now? Because if Mr. Indie himself can't get into Smash Bros. As a playable character, what in the world makes us think that Shantae would be playable? There's also the fact that she is a lesser known third party. I mean, she doesn't have the same oomph to her name as Sonic, Mega Man, Pac-Man, Ryu, Cloud. It's more along the lines of Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, or Klonoa, or another character that people really don't know about. So there is that negative as well. And even though Bayonetta kind of changed this, there is the fact that she has a more mature design and more mature attire. Plus, it's one of the reasons I really didn't like her at first, but it's probably going to be rated T anyway, so that's kind of a negative, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter, so we'll move on. And along with being an indie character, Shantae is also a Western American character, so what chance could she possibly have of being added to Smash Bros? Because we've never had American characters before now. Dark Samus is the first one. Why in the world would we get another one, especially an indie character? Overall, she just seems a lot less popular and less likely than other big third parties like Geno, Sora, Banjo-Kazooie, and Rayman. Not to mention other third parties that could get second reps like Shadow and Ken from Street Fighter. She's just not as likely and as overall popular as they are. She was even outclassed by Shovel Knight, especially in the public eye. And even though she may just be an Echo Fighter, Dixie Kong's inclusion and use of her hair just might be what sets Shantae to the sidelines, because would Sakurai really have two characters with ponytails for hair? I mean, of course Bayonetta uses her hair, but it's not in a ponytail sense. So would we have two ponytail characters? Only time will tell. Okay. Enough with the cons. Let's get to the pros, because Shantae has a lot of them, and I mean a lot. Like, when I was researching, I was surprised how much she had going for her. So, yeah, let's get to the pros. Her first pro is one of her cons. She's an indie character. Now, of course, Shovel Knight got in as an assist trophy, but that's not Shantae. Shantae is her own character, and where he's Mr. Indie, she's Miss Indie. Not to mention the fact we've never had a playable indie character in Smash Bros. Before. It would be a first of its time, and we also said the same. We never get third parties in Smash Bros. Boom, Sonic and Snake, and then boom, even more in Smash 4. Ridley's too big for Smash Bros. Boom, he's a playable character. Cloud Strife in Smash Bros. Pfft, never. Boom! He's a playable character. Literally, Cloud opened the door for so many video game characters, and I think Shantae is definitely one of them. One of the biggest pros of Shovel Knight not being playable is that it leaves the indie slot wide open for Shantae to take, and the fact that we have had Commander Video as a trophy in Super Smash Bros. Wii U, which I actually did not know about until I was researching this. Shovel Knight's an assist trophy. The next obvious step is playable character in the roster, and of course, Shantae would fit that perfectly. There are several things that made Shantae more likely than Shovel Knight from the very beginning. The main point is that she's just more well-known worldwide. Now, back when the Smash Ballot first came out, Shovel Knight had not yet been ported to Japan, and neither had Shantae, but since that time, Shantae was ported to Japan. And Japanese people seem to like her pretty well. They really don't care about Shovel Knight, and I think that's really one of the main hindrances that left him out of the running for roster spot. But the fact that Shantae is more well known across the world than Shovel Knight is one of the biggest pros in her favor. Not to mention, whereas Shovel Knight has had one game with multiple updates, Shantae's had four games over a 15-year-long history with Nintendo that runs deeper than just being pretty much console exclusive. Shantae's eponymous game debuted on the Game Boy back in 2002 and was hailed as one of the best Game Boy games ever. Like, even to this day, it's still seen as one of the most successful and most fun Game Boy games in the history of Game Boy games. Shantae was featured on the cover of Nintendo Power years ago. Like, that's huge. Someone who's actually a third-party indie character featured on Nintendo Power says something about her popularity and what kind of history she has with Nintendo. And like I already said, her games were pretty much version exclusive to Nintendo for years and years, up until Half-Genie Hero. They would go on Nintendo systems for years and then be ported later, but there was so much time where Shantae was exclusively on Nintendo systems. And on the 3DS, Pirate's Curse was one of the best-selling games, and I remember being on the eShop and it being on the front cover for a good while, like several weeks. Like, it was one of those games people just loved on the 3DS, and it was just a success story for indie games, and she's just one of those characters that just made a big impact on the system. And if it wasn't already obvious, Shantae is a girl, and we are sorely lacking in that department in Smash Bros. We have about a third of the roster if you count alts and additional characters that are girls in the game, and we can always use a few more. Of course, characters like Isabelle and Dixie Kong's names have been thrown around, but there's not a whole lot of other girls besides them and Shantae that are being considered for Smash Ultimate, and that's really what makes me think she has more of a chance, because she is one of the few girls that people are asking for. Another big drawback that Shovel Knight had was that you couldn't really see his emotion and his just personality shine through. Not with Shantae. Shantae's personality is for all the world to see. She's sassy, she's sweet, she's girly, she's fun, she's temperamental, she's loyal, she's trustworthy, she's dedicated to her friends, but she's just these so many personality traits that are so evident with her that are not evident or cannot be ascertained from Shovel Knight. And so, her having a big personality is a big reason that I feel like Sakurai would add her, because, you know, besides moveset, a character's impact on gaming and personality are also big drawing points for him as a character. And Shantae has personality in boatloads. And going off of what Sakurai looks for in moveset, Shantae's would be one of the most unique, and she would be one of the most unique characters overall. I mean, we've never had a belly dancing genie that's been a pirate for a short amount of time that can transform into animals and shoot fire from her hands. There's just so much potential with her, and we've already got the Demon King, we got animals, we've got Pokemon, we've got aliens, we've got witches, we've got mages. So many classes of characters covered except Genie. And I think that Shantae could fill that role extremely well. And besides her design, her moveset potential is huge. She has her pirate scimitar and the pirate hat and the cannonball that she can use from Pirate's Curse. She can transform into like 15 different animals / mythical creature forms. She has her hair that could be great for tilts and even some smash attacks and air attacks. Like, there is just so much potential. That was one thing that I really got me thinking Shantae could have a chance besides Shovel Knight. But, you know, just seeing just how much she has to offer is amazing. And of course, being able to whip someone with like 7-foot hair would be amazing. And I can imagine that being her grab, is she just like takes her in, just like, no, come here. And that would be so cool. She would be such a fun character because of her amazing moveset potential. And like with Shovel Knight, pretty much everything is already done for Shantae. She's got taunts, she's got idle animations, she's got victory poses, she's got incredible music. Have you heard Dance Through the Danger and We Love Burning Town? Those would be such good songs to fight with, especially Dance Through the Danger. Like, if that's not in her reveal trailer, I'll be surprised, and that's what I'm hoping for, because that is such a killer song. I've literally listened to it on repeat for weeks, dude. I love that song so much, and there's just so many other background songs they could use. WayForward already designed alt skins for Sakurai. I mean, obvious ones would be stuff based off of Bolo and Sky and Roddy Tops and Risky Boots and Nega Shantae. Of course, she could fight in her jammies. She could, dude, if she had her ninja outfit, that would be so sick. Like, there's just so many costume options for her. She could have her pirate bandana. There's just so many different things they could do to give her a great set of alt skins. And of course, her splash screen intro would have to be Shantae is ret to go, because why not? It's her catchphrase, why would she not? Now, one thing that I've really been mulling over is what design would they use for her, because every game Shantae's in, she looks different. The closest she's ever looked between games is Shantae and Risky's Revenge, but everything else looks so different, especially with Pirate's Curses more anime style and Half-Genie Hero's more chibi style. I personally think they'll go more with the Half-Genie Hero route, since that was the game that was coming out at the time of the Smash Ballot, and that was the more familiar look for people that saw Shantae. But they could always do a combination of all four, kind of like Artsy Omni did for his Smashified render of her. She could have alternate costumes based off, Pirate's Curse and Risky's Revenge, but I don't think that would work because they look so much taller than her Half-Genie Hero counterparts. So I don't see that happening as much as the Half-Genie Hero idea, or just them meshing them all together. I could see her as fairly tall and fairly lightweight, or she would be kind of on the shorter side, about Mario's size. It's either Mario's size or Samus's size, and I think that might be how they do it. Besides moveset potential, Shantae also brings a great villain to the table in Risky Boots. Now, I don't think Risky will be a playable character, obviously, but she would make a great assist trophy, and if not her, the Squid Baron would too, because apparently he's like a running gag in the series. But I also think that Risky would be a great boss battle for the Imminent Adventure mode. I mean, come on, that's got to be what that green blurred out block is. Obviously. But she would be such a great fit for that. You could fight her on her pirate ship, defeat the ship, she could jump off and battle you with like black magic and pirate stuff, and that would be so cool. Like, she would be such a great villain. She's unique in her design, very unique in her design, and she just would be such a cool boss battle and just such a cool villain in general to have. I mean, she could be a stage hazard on Shantae's stage. I'm predicting Scuttletown Square would obviously be hers. In some way, I think Risky should show up in the game, or at least Squid Baron, because Shantae does have some great villains to offer as well. I'm going back to another con as a pro. Her being a Western American character is a pro as much as it is a con. Now, it might hold her back, but at the same time, Shovel Knight's in Smash Bros. Now as an assist trophy, and that's pretty cool. And Diddy has been in since Brawl, but he was made by the British company Rare. But as of this last direct, we got 2 Western characters. We got Dark Samus, who is our first American character, and King K. Rool, who, like Diddy Kong, was made by Rare back in the 90s. So the door has been thrown wide open for Western characters like Shantae, like Rayman, like Banjo-Kazooie. It opens the door wide open, and it really has me excited that she might be playable because of King K. Rool. As if that wasn't already exciting enough, like King K. Rool's in Smash, like. And speaking of third parties like Banjo-Kazooie and Rayman, Shantae would not have nearly the red tape to get her in Smash as they would. WayForward has a great relationship with Nintendo. They have for years. Like I said, Nintendo exclusivity for years and years with Shantae's games. Her being a smaller indie third-party character does play in her favor in that regard, because not only would it be easier, but again, the fan popularity really could be what pushes her over the edge. And speaking of popularity, Shantae was one of the highest voted characters on the Smash ballot. She wasn't as high as King K. Rool and Ridley and Isaac and all those other characters, but she was up there quite a bit. But the fact that she rose from relative obscurity to well-known status by the Smash ballot alone shows how dedicated her fans were and how much her potential is, because people like me who have never played her games and that originally disregarded her as unlikely are now wanting her in Smash Bros. And to me, that says something about who she is as a character. That says something about just us as a Smash community, how quickly we disregard characters because we don't like them and because we don't know about them. Kind of like how I've been like with Bandana Waddle Dee and Isaac in the past, but the Smash fan base wants her, and I think that that's a big drawing point for her in this game. And unlike Shovel Knight, whose popularity has kind of declined in the Smash community over time, Shantae's has just exploded. Like, obviously I've been binge watching Smash Bros. Top 10 videos pretty much since the Inklings got confirmed, but there have been so many videos where I've seen Shantae's name in the comments, in the video, over Shovel Knight, especially the comments section, because automatically everybody assumed Shovel Knight was going to get in. But now that he's been deconfirmed, it shows that people are still wanting Shantae, and the fact that she's still a relevant character that people want, it's impressive that she has built up that big of a fan base since she was pretty much, like I said, completely obscure. Whoever would have thought that a little genie indie character would be added to Smash Bros, but now, because people still want her, that is a huge possibility and likelihood that she will be in this game. And besides her overall popularity in Nintendo fans and Smash Brothers fans, she really had an advantage because she just got Pirate's Curse. Coming off of that, it was a huge success. And then Half-Genie Hero was in development, and people were, showing support through the Kickstarter, and were showing this just love for this character and love for this game series. And I think that really could have swayed Sakurai to see that she had a future. She just had so much potential to start with, but the fact that she's in a game series that's going to continue, it probably swayed him at least a little bit, I would think. And of course, like I said already in the cons, she is a lesser known third-party character, but she wouldn't be the first pretty much unknown character in Smash Bros. Now, when I got in Brawl, I didn't know anybody. Like, I knew Pokemon, Mario, and most of the Legend of Zelda characters. I knew no one else. I played Melee briefly with my cousins, but I didn't recognize any of them. Like, I remember thinking Samus was a dude, and then getting into Brawl and being like, wait, Samus is a girl? No, dude. She's a woman. No. She's a goddess. Actually, that would be Palutena. Wait, why am I talking to myself? Because you're crazy. Well, I knew that, but that idea literally popped into my head on the way here to record, and I might keep it in the video, I might not, I don't know. It just popped in my head. We'll see how it goes. But there have been so many series that I didn't know about, like Metroid, Star Fox, F-Zero, Pikmin, Mother and Earthbound, Mr. Game & Watch. There's just so many characters I had no clue about, and there's a lot of franchises, especially like F-Zero and Mother and Earthbound, even stuff like Pikmin, that are very, very niche and have very small audiences, just like Shantae. And as we've seen with characters getting added that haven't been relevant in 15 to 20 years, just like King K. Rool and Simon, and characters that should never have been in Smash. Like, seriously, who the heck thought Wii Fit Trainer was deserving of a roster spot over characters like Sora? We see characters in Smash Bros. That should never fit. Wii Fit Trainer actually is kind of a cool random addition, and I do like Wii Fit Trainer's addition. I was just saying that as an example. I'm sorry for the Wii Fit Trainer mains. I'm sure y'all are few and far between, but she is still a cool character. But the fact that there are characters from franchises that just don't have that big of a following and haven't had games in years, or the character hasn't appeared in years, gives me hope that Shantae will be added, because she's more relevant than a lot of them. And of course, relevancy has only so much to play in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Again, King K. Rool and Simon have not been in games in years, so that only goes so far. But at the same time, with the popularity in the recent game, she does have a really good chance. And not to sound like a social justice warrior, because I most certainly am not. I am very conservative in my thought processes. Shantae is not white or Japanese, and the only character that we really have that's even dark complected, I mean, besides Mr. Game & Watch, obviously, he's literally black, and we literally have Wii Fit Trainer who is white, is Ganondorf. And, I mean, he's like a Gerudo or whatever. Their race is dark complected anyway. We really don't have anyone that's not white or Japanese. We've got Mario, we've got Simon and Richter, we've got Samus, we've got Peach, we've got all these characters who are just, they're white. I'd never think a character or a person in a show or anything like that should be added just because of color, but I mean, it would be cool to see someone who's not white. Obviously, I don't think this is the only reason she should be added, and that'd be a stupid reason to add her just because her skin is darker than somebody else's. Seriously, there's one race, it's the human race. Like, what the heck? But it is a cool note to add. And of course, like I said in the cons, Shantae does have a more risque, sexy design. Now, of course, Bayonetta pretty much threw that out the window with the bathwater because she is Miss Sex herself. If Bayonetta, a character from a game where you literally strip to attack people with demons, Shantae can make it in. And obviously they could add a little bit more coverage with her tube top thing. They could always, like, you know, shrink her bust size down and stuff like that, like they did with Samus and Bayonetta. Overall, with the T rating that is pretty much imminent because these cutscenes are very, very, very gruesome, I think it's evident that, you know, her design isn't as big of an issue now as it has been in the past. And my last pro, no jiggle physics in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Because we don't need that. And now that we've gone over the pros and the cons, it's time to talk about the evidence that could almost certainly prove Shantae is in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, if you've been watching Smash Bros. Videos, you know there's this huge thing going around started by Relax and a bunch of other YouTubers that Skull Kid is pretty much being hinted at by the background in the last Nintendo Direct. And I have bought that hook, line, and sinker. You cannot tell me that that green couch and the colored pattern on the pillows and the random yellow and purple chairs don't mean something, especially when the previous Direct had a wood motif like a barrel, a ladder, and books on the shelf colored like King K. Rool, green and red. And who was confirmed this Direct? King K. Rool. And what was shown off? DK and Diddy's treehouse. Not to mention the fact that Sakurai himself, I think it was either the night before or the day of the Direct, said, don't be alarmed, you know, if my eyes appear red, you know, I'm tired and I just haven't gotten a lot of sleep. And then Simon Belmont got confirmed with the theme Bloody Tears, and King K. Rool got confirmed with his huge, nasty, bloodshot eye. Red eyes. Sakurai seems like just the kind of person to do something like this, and this has me thinking, if he referenced two characters in one quote, what makes us think he won't reference two characters in the background? Now, automatically, every Waluigi fan jumped on the fact that that was Waluigi's colors, but it's actually Wario's colors more so. But there's two characters this would also be hinting at. Rayman could be the character it's hinting at because the chairs are separated just like Rayman's limbs, and it's purple and yellow, just like Rayman's purple hoodie and the yellow ring on his shirt. But I also think if it's hinting at Skull Kid, it could also be hinting at Shantae, because Shantae's hair is purple and her jewelry is gold, which is somewhat yellow. So that is a bit of a stretch. I do think it's referencing Skull Kid, but if Sakurai wanted to put another reference to a character, Shantae would be a likely character he could be referencing, so next Smash Direct could have Skull Kid and Shantae, who knows. Another thing worth mentioning is that while Shovel Knight was shown off as an assist trophy, Shantae was nowhere to be found. I saw so many people in comments on videos talking about Shovel Knight and the Smash Direct saying, man, as soon as Shovel Knight showed up, I was like, Shantae's next, and then she didn't show up, and people were like, what? Like, if Shantae was gonna be in the game, which I would think she would be, even as an assist trophy because of how big she was on the Smash ballot, wouldn't she be announced alongside Shovel Knight? Put your tinfoil hats on, boys! Now, I have to give credit where credit is due because, like I said, I've been watching a bunch of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate videos, and one of the coolest two-parters I've seen is Wreck-It Ryan's two-part video about why Shantae should be in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and the evidence supporting her. Now, I will be paraphrasing some of what he said. I won't be putting every bit of information in this video. Go check out his channel. He's a smaller channel. Go show him some love because there's a lot of really, really good points that he makes about Shantae's inclusion, and I'll be talking about a few of them now. So if you've been keeping up with Shantae Half-Genie Hero, you know that Jammy's Mode just released. It's a free update for everybody just to thank them for playing the game. And in the game mode, Jamie's mode, at the very beginning, Shantae says that she wants to throw the ultimate slumber party, and everyone is invited. She doesn't want to just invite Sky and Bolo and Roddy Tops and Uncle Mimic. She wants everyone in on the ultimate slumber party. And the wording, ultimate slumber party, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, everyone is here, everyone is invited. That is too much of a coincidence to that's not a coincidence. That's a blatant reference. That is very, very sneaky and very, very, very clever. And at the end of the run, Uncle Mimic says something along the lines of, get well rested, Shantae, you don't know what lies ahead. And she's like, what do you mean? He says, you never know when a new journey is on the horizon. And what bigger journey for an indie character than Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? The biggest crossover game of all time. Dude, just the wording of this gameplay, just the wording that Shantae gives, just can only mean to me that she is gonna be in this game. And I'm jumping ahead of myself, I still have more evidence to talk about. And in the trailer for Jamie's mode, it also shows that she has a new transformation based off of her appearance in Blaster Master Zero. And when the screen pops up, it says, but wait, there's more, sort of like Sakurai does, but one more thing. And then it says, a new transformation approaches, just like Challenger approaching. Not as convincing of evidence as, Shantae saying ultimate and everyone is invited. To me personally, it's still something worth noting, and it's something that's very, very interesting. And the final bit of evidence I have to give is that Shantae and Shovel Knight have both been in a lot of indie game crossovers. They've both been in Runbow, they've both been in Blaster Master Zero, and they're both slated to be in Indivisible. But there are a few games that Shantae has been absent from, and that's Blade Strangers, Rivals of Aether, and Indie Pogo. And Shovel Knight is in all three of them as a playable character. And do you know what all three of them have in common? They are all fighting games. Two of which, Indie Pogo and Rivals of Aether, are very, very heavily inspired by Super Smash Bros. You cannot tell me that is one of the most convincing arguments for this, her inclusion in Smash Bros. Because why would she be in all of these games besides these? And the fact that she was a highly requested character for them and she was not added, it's very suspicious. Not to mention, all of these games have released between the Smash Ballot and now. It could be that there was a non-disclosure agreement and a license contract that said Shantae couldn't be in any more fighting games because she was signed on for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as a playable indie rep. And she couldn't be in a fighting game because she was already in the biggest fighting game on the planet. This evidence just has me so excited. Is it 100% concrete proof she's going to be in? Heck no. There's no concrete evidence for any character. Bandana D having amiibo functionality and not being in DDD's Final Smash is not 100% proof. So obviously, this is not 100% proof. But I would say it's 99% proof. I mean, between the references, between the subtle hints, between her absence in the Smash Direct so far, not even a trophy, not an assist trophy, no reference of Shantae whatsoever. WayForward's radio silence on their end, and they were all gung-ho for her when the Smash Ballot came out. They have not said a word. There has been nothing. People have asked about her in Smash Bros. And they don't respond. They beat around the bush. That's so suspicious. And it has me thinking that Shantae could very well appear in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, before I go, I do have a little thing I did. I was originally going to do a leak and be like, hey, I'm a leaker, I have inside info. But I decided to just put it in this video because I have an idea for how Shantae's Direct should go. Well, not her Direct, but her appearance in a Direct, and I actually have it written on my phone, and so I will be reading it off verbatim so I don't miss any juicy details. What I wrote down reads as follows. The next Smash Direct will be between the end of September and the middle of October. We'll see 2 more Echoes and 2 more brand new characters revealed. The 2 Echoes will be Isabelle and Shadow the Hedgehog, and the brand new characters revealed will be Shantae and Geno or Skull Kid. Shantae and Geno, I would say, because, They're both magical beings. She grants wishes because she's a genie. What do you do to a shooting star? You make a wish on it. Geno's a star. It makes perfect sense. And Skull Kid would make sense as well, because not only is he referenced in the same thing that could be referencing Shantae, it fits with the heroes and villains motif. You know, every single direct, the big characters that we've gotten have been heroes and villains. Inkling and Ridley, Simon and King K. Rool, Shantae and Skull Kid. And again, like Geno, he's a magical being, just like she is, and it would make perfect sense. But anyway, back to the script. Shantae could also be announced at the end of a Nindy Direct that, based on Nintendo's scheduling of prior Nindy Directs about every 6.5 months or so, could be released between the middle of September to the end of October. And if we're getting a character every single month or every other month, kind of like how it was in June and then jumping to August, that's very much likely. That would be the perfect time to announce Shantae. But anyway, now if Shantae is added in a Nindy Direct, obviously it would be what closes out the Direct. And obviously that would be huge and a good way to end with a bang. But yeah, I feel like if she was in like a regular Smash Bros. Direct, she would be the one that kicked it off, just like Simon Belmont. And then the villain would close it out. Again, fitting the thing. Inkling at the beginning, Ridley at the end. Simon at the beginning, King K. Rool at the end. So it would make sense. Shantae's trailer will kick off the Direct and will open with Toon Link at sail on the sea, humming to himself, enjoying his excursion. Suddenly, he hears a commotion from the distance, and upon looking out to sea, he sees King K. Rool doing battle with Diddy Kong and Donkey Kong aboard his pirate ship. Toon Link charges his ship to face K. Rool's, and when close enough, he claw shots onto the boat to assist the Kongs. As the three team up, K. Rool's sheer size and strength leads to them quickly becoming exhausted, and just as K. Rool is about to land a powerful KO punch, a mysterious bird-like figure approaches from the air, then swoops down and transforms before landing. As the unknown figure lands between the heroes and the king, a whip from a large purple ponytail sends K. Rool flying and into the ocean. As the three look up to the figure, Dance Through the Danger begins to play. As the camera pans up to reveal the character is Shantae, with the splash card, Shantae is ready to go. Then it shows off her moveset, Risky Boots, or Squid Baron as an assist trophy is revealed, along with Shantae's Scuttletown Square stage featuring all of her friends in the background. Once the Smash Ultimate logo fades out, Shantae joins the three heroes in high fives, thumbs up, and a victory dance as King K. Rool sulks and floats in the water nearby. But again, that's just my speculation. She could be announced solo, she could be announced alongside Skull Kid, she might not even be in the game. Who knows? Time will tell, but these are the pros and the cons and the bits of evidence that I think prove for a fact Shantae will be a playable character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you think Shantae deserves a spot in Smash Bros? And if you do, you gotta drop that Shantae for Smash hashtag. Like, seriously, let's get this trending again. Go to Nintendo, go to Sakurai, don't harass them, but do Shantae for Smash. Put a picture of her up and say, Nintendo, let's do this thing. Let's put Shantae in Smash Bros. Sakurai, we want her, we need her, let's put her in Smash Bros. So let's get Shantae for Smash trending again. And because I would love to see her. And I feel like if we don't tell Sakurai, if she's not already added to the game and she might be DLC later, I think we kind of need to let him know that we really, really do want her in Smash Bros. Now, one other thing before I go that I want to mention, if and when Shantae gets added to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I will be playing one of her games for the channel. Now, obviously not the original Shantae because I don't have a capture card and I'm not playing on my 3DS, so it'll be either Risky's Revenge, The Pirate's Curse, or Half-Genie Hero. Share your opinions, because I know there's a lot of you hardcore Smash and Shantae fans that are watching this video, because you wouldn't be watching this video if you didn't love Shantae. So let me know in the comments below which game you think I should play, because I want to get, opinions from the people that love the series, just so I can hopefully fall in love with the series myself. Thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize for this video being a lot longer than I planned. Just had a lot to talk about, a lot of evidence, and a lot of pros and cons to adding her in Smash Bros. A guy can dream, a fan base can dream, but the way we've seen K. Rool and Simon and Ridley and other highly requested characters added, it gives me so much hope that the Half-Genie Hero is gonna have for day in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure you leave it a like. If you really like my channel, subscribe to join the pack. and feel free to share what other characters besides Shantae you guys would love to see in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'm personally hoping for Sora, Geno, and Skull Kid myself, but there's so many great characters that could make it this time around, so share who you want to see in the comments below. That's all I've got for now, but expect another Smash Bros. Video soon where I talk about which Pokemon rep I would love to see in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Until next time, guys, God bless, and thanks for watching.